Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So in the previous class, we have covered the basic
ચલો
things
એટલી
about
સારું છે
computer
આપણે
architecture.
કોમ્પ્યુટર પ્રોગ્રામિંગના
Let's
પ્રીવિયસ
see it
લેક્ચરમાં કંઈ ખાસ કરાયું નતું બધું
uh,
રેમ સ્ટોરેજ સીપીયુ
again
પર
because
સમજાયું
few of the slides were
એ તો
not
એને હું
covered.
ભણી દઉં
Okay. Is this visible to you all? The slides are visible to you all?
હા હા
Yes,
પહેલું
sir.
વર્ષ બહુ
Yes,
બધું
sir.
હશે
Okay.
તાર કોર્સની
Okay.
રિલેટેડ બધા
So we
ભણવાનું
have
છે
covered at least this portion. Okay. Isn't it? Classification of programming languages. We have covered in the last class.
આપણા બંનેનો કોર્સ સેમ છે
So basically three types of language we have discussed in this. That is machine language, assembly language, and high level languages. The characteristics of
આ
machine
તો
language is
આ
that is
બધું
it is
ભણાવશે તો ખરી જ તે
machine
ફર્સ્ટ સેમ તો
dependent.
પછી હજી
So
બહારની
according
બેઝિક
to the
તો
machine
આવડવા
you
જોઈએ
program the things. It
પછી કરાવશે તો આમાં પણ
represented
આગળ
in zeros
ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રીઝ ને
and
બધું આવે છે
one.
તાર
So
રોબોટિક્સ
all
ને
the
બધું
coding
એમાં
has
હોય
to be
ઘણું
done in
બધું આવે
zeros and one.
થર્ડ થર્ડ ફિફ્થ
The next thing is
સેમિસ્ટરથી ચાલુ થાય
assembly language, so which is also machine dependent
થર્ડ
and
યરથી
uses
થશે
mnemonics. I have discussed about mnemonics in the previous
ટોટલ
class. What is
4
mnemonic?
કે 5
Mnemonics
ઇલેક્ટિવ્સ
are
લેવા છે
basically codes given
ઘણું
for a
બધું થઈ
particular
ગયું
command. Instead of saying print, you have some code like 001. So these are mnemonics to print some statement. Okay. So one-to-one language,
વીક્સમાં
that
તો
is
તાર
as
કેવું હોય તાર
for assembly
સબ્જેક્ટ
language instruction are
પહેલો વર્ષ તો
generated.
કદાચ નથી
Then
કરવા
we
દેતા
have high level language,
સેકન્ડ યરથી
which
તાર
is
પોતાનું
machine
ટાઈમ ટેબલ
independent.
બનાવવાનું
Okay,
એવું કંઈક
like
હોય
Java, which uses
તને જે ટાઈમ
instruction
ફાવે ને એને
which
જે
seems
તાર કોર્સ લેવાની
or
હિસાબે
look
તાર
like
લેવાનું
English statement, like what we do in
સવારે
C,
કોઈક 8 થી 9
printf.
નો લીધો
So
પછી
print
બપોરે
itself
12
suggests
થી 1
like we
સુધી
are
તાર
going to
જાતે
print something.
બનાવવાનું
Okay, so
લેક્ચરનો
it is
ટાઈમ
not
આપેલો હોય
difficult
તને
to
આ સબ્જેક્ટનો
grasp the thing by looking the
સેટ કરવાનું
code. Then
અને
one
તારે
to many
એવું
language,
પણ
that is for
કરાય
high
કે
level
ઈ
instruction,
સેમિસ્ટરમાં
many
વધારે
machine language
સબ્જેક્ટ લઈ
generate
લે તો નેક્સ્ટ સેમિસ્ટરમાં
operating
એટલા
system
સબ્જેક્ટ ઓછા
specific
તો નેક્સ્ટ સેમિસ્ટરમાં થોડો ફ્રી રહેતું એવું બધું
answers.
પણ થાય
Then we have discussed about compiler and interpreter. So compiler is a computer program or set of programs that transform source code written in a
બધાને આવડવું
programming
હોય છે
language. For example, you are doing it in C, so you are writing those codes in C language. So the source code of the C language will be converted into another computer language, that is target language, which computer can understand. Okay, which is often having a binary form known as object code. So the most common reason for wanting the to transform the source code is to create
યાર કેમ આવાને બહુ
executable program.
નાની
So
નાની લાગે
exe
છે
file
કેમ
that you
ઓકે
generate
પેલું
from your
ફૂલ સાઇઝ
codes.
કીબોર્ડ વાપરતો હું તો
Okay, then once your coding is done, you
વાવ
can execute
કેવું
the exe file at any platform. The name compiler is primarily used for programs that translate source code from high level programming language to lower level language. If a compiled program can run on a computer whose CPU or operating system is different from the another, from the one of which the compiler runs, the compiler is known as cross compiler. Okay, just a second.
તમારી જો અનુપ જોડે હું ટીમ બનાવવાની એના કરતા તો ના રમવું સારું અનવી ઓનલાઈન તો રમી લો તો કે કંટાળો આવવાનો યનમાં પેલો એક જણ જો કેમ્પ કરીને બેઠો હોય તો એ જ મારી જાય બીજો અને માની લે બંને કેમ્પ કરીને બેઠા તો કઈ થાય જ નહીં 1v1 મેપ
Okay.
નાનો આવે ને જેમ કે CS:GO માં વિંગમેન આવે બે લોકોની ટીમ
So
એવું કઈ કાંઈ મજા આવે.
cross compiler,
એમાં map
decompiler,
નાનો કરી દે
and
એવું.
source to source
આમાં
compiler.
તો
There are 3
1v1
types
માં તો
of
આખો map
compiler. So if a compiled program can run on a
મળે જ નહીં
computer
બધું.
whose
કે ગોળ ગોળ ફરી
CPU
જાય.
or operating system is different from the one on which the compiler runs, then the compiler is known as cross compiler. A program that translates from low level language to high level language is called decompiler, because we have seen here
કોણ
we have seen here like compiler is a program or a set of programs that transform source code written in a programming language into another computer language. So usually a compiler translates the program from high level language to low level language. So in decompiler, what we are doing, a program that translates from low level language to a higher level language is called decompiler. The usual task of compiler is to compile or translate high level language to low level language. That is why it is called decompiler. A program that translates between high level language is usually called as source to source compiler, from one high level language to another high level language. Okay. So a program that translates between high level language is usually called source to source compiler. Then interpreter, so the translation of program that the translating program that translates and executes the statement in sequence, that is line by line. Assembler or compiler produce machine code as output, which is then executed in a separate step, that is translated line by line conversion of high level language into low level language. So an interpreter translate a statement and then immediately execute that statement. Interpreter can also be viewed as simulators. So compilers, what they will do, what we do,
હું એક
we
માર જેવા ચારે તો જીતી જઈએ.
compile the.
મોબાઈલ તો કશું ના થાય.
Is the voice okay? Or is still you have any issues with the voice?
Yes, sir, the voice is clear.
Okay. Okay. So what compiler will do, a program which is written in a high level language will be the input to the compiler, and the output will be the machine, the program
લેક્ચર ચાલુ છે જો.
written in a low level language, usually in machine code. The assembler, the task of the assembler is an assembler is a program that takes basic computer instructions, that is assembly language, and converts them into pattern of bits, that is machine language, that the computer processor can use to perform its basic operation. So basic microprocessors that you are going to study in EC
અરે CS કોને ને CS તો હું
or might be
બાબાજી
the
તમે તે
the syllabus has changed, because at our time we used to study 8085, 8088, 8086. Okay, which has mnemonic language, and then assembler is used to convert it into machine code. So these are the basic difference between the interpreter and compiler. So compiler scan the whole program at a time and list out error if any, while interpreter scans the program line by line and stops scanning whenever error occurs. So किसी भी एक लाइन पे एरर आया तो वहीं पे रुक जाएगा, उसके आगे नहीं जाएगा. ठीक है. Then compiler converts the whole source code into object code at a time, while interpreter converts the source programs. After compilation, source code is not required in terms of, when we are talking in terms of compiler. In interpreter, for every execution, the source code is required. The execution is faster when we use compiler. The execution is slower because we are doing line by line. Then the object code is generated when the program is error free. Okay, generates the object code for each line immediately if it is error free. So ये पूरा प्रोग्राम को कंपाइल करने के बाद ऑब्जेक्ट कोड बनाएगा, या हर एक लाइन का ऑब्जेक्ट कोड बनाते हुए चलता है इंटरप्रेटर. Then compiler requires more memory
ના
and
કરવી માં
interpreter
lecture
requires less memory because it is scanning line by line. So this is the basic difference between interpreter and compiler. I will share you the PPTs. If you want to write down any of the notes, then it's your choice. Otherwise, I'll share these PPTs with you. Okay. Now let's jump to the introduction to C language. So the basic history of C language is the C is a general purpose high level language which was originally developed by Dennis Ritchie to develop the Unix operating system at Bell's Lab. C was originally first implemented on the CP PDP-11 computer in 1972. The C is a successor of B language, which was introduced around early 1970s. Okay, the language was formalized in 1989 by American National Standard Institute, that is ANSI. The Unix operating system totally written in C, and the today's most popular Linux operating system and RDBMS MS SQL have been written in C language. So the features of C are C is portable. What do you mean by portable? Any answers? What
Without
do we mean by?
wires.
What do we mean by? Yes.
Without wires.
operating system.
What is the difference between portability and platform independent? What do you mean by portable?
We can
We don't have
transfer
wires and we
code
can
from
move anywhere.
one operating system to the other. That is portability, and it does not require a restricted environment that could be platform independent.
Okay. So C is platform independent or dependent?
Independent.
Independent.
Uh, Dependent or independent? Some says like
Independent.
dependent and some says
Independent.
independent. Mm-hmm. Okay. So some says platform independent and some says platform dependent. So those who are saying platform dependent, can they justify their answer with a logic? Simple one line answer. Why it is platform dependent and why it is independent?
For independent, we can because it doesn't need any other app for its result.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It compile and give result in the same app. Like means only the C program that application mean.
Can be
Okay.
used in different types of device. Laptops, mobile. Doesn't have only one device support.
So the first point is portable. So C is portable. C language is portable. It can be operated from one system to another system. Platform independent. There I have marked as red. Why I have marked it red? Because there is a confusion in this point. So what I suggest you is tomorrow we have a class. So you just Google it out. Why, in which case we can say C is platform independent, and in which case we can say C is platform dependent. Okay. So in the next class we will discuss about platform independent characteristics of C. Then
Can I
it is
explain that for
yes,
platform independence?
yes.
Okay,
I,
so if you want to work with C, you don't need an external machine. So it's only run on one computer.
yeah.
That's what independence means, platform independence.
Yes, you're correct. But what I'm saying is, if you are using, for example, if you are using Windows operating system, and then you are going to use your code into different machine which is using Mac operating system. So, do the same program would be easily executable on both the system.
Yes, sir.
But what in case if you are using any of the concept of operating system into a program? For example, if you are using something which is solely proprietary to Windows operating system into your C code, then what will happen?
Oh,
Would it be able to be executed in Mac operating system?
probably not.
Yeah. So that is why I have given you this
Sir,
point.
C is, sir, I think it should be independent because, sir, the code in C will run in one OS.
Yeah. Yes.
So uh, I
Yes.
think it's independent.
That is why I have marked it in red, because there will be, I know, because there will be two set of peoples. One will say independent, one will say dependent. So that is why I marked it in red, so that you can search it out from your end itself, in which case it will be independent and in which place or in which case it will be dependent. Because as I have told you, if it is using any of the services of Windows operating system into its code, so will it be able to execute it on Mac operating system?
No.
So that is why I have given you a question. Like, you just read it, because once you read it yourself, you'll get it a better understanding. Then I'll be there to explain you these things in the next class. Okay. Then it is procedural. We all know it is a procedural and structured language. Then statically typed, weakly typed, and middle level language. Middle level language because a lot of other languages has come above C, that is Java, C++, and all those things have evolved now. So C language is portable, function. It has function-rich libraries. The modularities are there because we can divide the program into different functions, and we can use and reuse those functions according to our need. It is easy to extend, and variety of data types and powerful operators. Data types are like integer, float, character, string, array. All those are data types. And powerful operators, like operators are plus, minus, multiplication, division, etc. This is fast and efficient. So your task is to read this point, whether C is platform independent or dependent. If it is platform independent, then in which case it can be treated as platform dependent. Okay. So every language has its own character sets. Character sets are used to identify the things into, or we can say, a set of not a set of characters or set of things that machine understands. So C program basically consists of keywords, identifiers, constants, operators, and some special symbols. Okay, like printf, scanf, like if I can say operators like plus, minus, and all those things. Then percentage E, percentage C, and all those things are there. Or we can say this is the vocabulary of the C language which we are going to use to construct our program. Like we have a vocabulary that we use to speak, and we speak in English language because the audience could understand those things. Similarly, we speak in computer programming, we write the code in C language because the system understands those things. So if I'm speaking in English, suddenly I use some German or French word, then would you able to understand my statement?
Sir.
You all are familiar with with English language.
Yes, sir.
So similarly with the case of the programming language is there. Like if the vocabulary of the C is like we have printf, scanf, and all those things, instead of that, if you use the vocabulary of C++, that is C in, C out, so it is not going to understand all those things. So similarly, as we people understand a particular language, the system has its own set of characters which are being used to construct or design the program. Apart, if you are using anything else apart from that, then the system won't be able to understand what you are wanting him to do. Okay. Then we have tokens like keywords, constant, identifier, string, special symbol, and operators. So tokens in C are keywords. So in keywords, whose meaning is fixed. Okay. For example, if I say char, so the meaning of char is fixed. Once you have written char, char, that means you are using characters. Okay. For example, if I'm saying int, so int means I'm going to declare integer. Okay. Then if I'm saying float, so what I'm saying is I'm going to declare a floating point number. Similarly, for means we are going to initialize a loop. Okay. So these are keywords. So these keywords are being used and you cannot change them. Okay. Okay. So what it is saying, whose meaning is fixed and is known by the compiler, and we cannot change the meaning of keyword. So I cannot say declare anything like I'm declaring a equal to 10. So I cannot say int equal to 10. So I cannot declare it as a constant. Okay, int means we are going to have integer. Okay, these are reserved keywords for C language. For example, int, float, if, else, for, while, etc. In C, we have total 32 keywords which have their predefined meaning and cannot be used as a variable name that I suggested you. Like I cannot use it as if equal to 5. I can say a equal to 5. So while initializing, I cannot use them in variable names. Okay, I can use like a equal to 5, but I cannot say else equal to 5. I cannot use it as variable name. Okay, so these are basic 32 keywords which are which have predefined meaning and cannot be used as variable name. Then we have tokens in C. We have constants whose value does not change throughout the program. For example, we have numeric constant, that is integer constant, like we can say like 13, 14, 15, whatever number we are going to say. Then a real constant like 0 0.4 minus a 0.34, etc. Then we have non-numeric constant, that is character constants, that is we can say a, small b, small c, and all those things. Then characters are written in single inverted commas. Okay, so here the character is b, capital B, small a, 5 plus, etc. So backslash backslash constant are a special type of character constants which actually consist of two characters. So these are known as escape sequence. So escape sequence starts with backslash character. For example, if I write single inverted commas backslash t, so what it will give? It will give a horizontal tab space into your program. So whenever you are printing something, we are going to use backslash t and backslash n. So backslash n is used for new line. So whenever you say print, you give any print statement and then after that you write backslash n, so it will print it in new line. Then string constant, like we can write computer, or we have written our first program code to print hello world. So within inverted comma you have given hello world. So that was a string constant. Okay, so any confusion till now?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay. So we have seen like constant. Constant can be subdivided into numeric constant and character constant. Numeric constant can be divided into integer constant and real constants. Then character constant can be divided into single character constant like A, B, C, whatever. Then string constant, like within inverted commas, you have written hello world in the first program. Then we have identifiers. So an identifier is a sequence of letters and digits, but must start with a underscore. Okay, with a letter. Underscore is treated as a letter. Identifier are case sensitive. Identifier are used to name the variable, function, etc. So in this we are allowed to have underscore, capital letters, small letters, digit, blanks, and commas are not allowed in identifiers. No special symbols other than underscores are allowed. So we can write like if you have name Ajay Kumar. So Ajay underscore Kumar, you can give this as an identifier. Okay. Blank and commas are not allowed. So we cannot give blank spaces. First character should be alphabet or underscore. Variable name should not be reversed word. Okay. So valid, like the valid names are root, underscore get char, underscore sin, x1, x2. These are the valid identifiers that you can use. The invalid identifiers are short, price dollar, because it cannot take special character. You have written dollar, my space name because it cannot take blank skip spaces. So this is why it is not a valid identifier, and 324 is not a valid identifier because in this the first character should be alphabet or underscore. So here the first character is number. If it is like A324, it could have been taken as a valid identifier. Okay. So then next is string literals, a sequence of characters enclosed in double quotes. For example, 13 is a string literals and not 13. Okay. So if I say in single inverted commas A and double inverted comma A, is there any difference?
Can you repeat?
Double inverted.
If I say single inverted commas A, here you can see, and double inverted comma A. So is there any difference in this?
Yes, sir. One is a character, the other one is a string.
Yeah. So whenever you have a double inverted comma sequence, then it is a string. Within single inverted commas, then this is a character. Okay. Then we have operators. So arithmetic operators like plus, minus, this star is for multiplication, then division, then this modulo, etc. These are the operators in C. Then we have logical operators like or, and, not, etc. that we are going to see in coming classes. Then we have white spaces. So space, new lines, tabs, comments, that is sequence of character enclosed in backslash, star and star backslash, etc. These are used to separate the adjacent identifiers, keywords and constant like backslash t, backslash n, backslash star, all those things are being used. So escape sequence, these are the symbols. Like if I write backslash b, then it will give just single backspace. Okay, backslash f, it will be form feed. Backslash n, it will be new line. Backslash r, it will return. Backslash t, that is horizontal tab, horizontal space of a tab. Okay, जब एक tab print कर tab हम whenever we write something on Windows and we want to have, sorry, I'm saying Windows, Microsoft Word, then if we want to have some space, want to provide some space, then either we use backspace, that is, it will give you just a single space. If we require more space, then we use tab, we press tab, so it will give you spaces. So similarly over here we are using these things. So double backslash for backslash, backslash single inverted quotation, so single quotation mark will be there in your output. Backslash double inverted comma, then double quotation mark would be there in your output. Backslash question, so is used for question mark. Backslash 0 for null character. So these are the escape sequences. Then to summarize this up, so within C tokens we have keywords, constants, strings and operators. In this we have identifiers and special symbols also. So keywords are like float, if, while, for, do while, etc. These are keywords that are being used in C programming. The identifiers can be a equal to 5, so A is the identifier. B equal to 10, B is the identifier. Constants are like constant number. For example, 100, 500, those are constants. Then strings. The string can be like what we have done in the first program, like hello world. This is a string. Then we have special symbols and operators. So operators can be plus, minus, star. Star is for multiplication, division, modulo, etc. Then special symbols that we have discussed just in the previous slide. Okay. So the basic structure of C program is like this. We have first document section, then link section, definition section, global declaration, and then main. So global declaration means if I want to declare like I'm working in an organization and my organization name is, for example, Nirma University. Okay. So what I have said, I have initialized a variable like organization name equal to Nirma University. So if I am declaring it as global variable, that is global, I'm doing it globally, then whenever I'm using the organization name, I have initialized it with Nirma University. So in which portion, in any of the portion of the program, it is any of the function, within any of the function, if I'm using this variable organization name, then automatically Nirma University will be reflected into it, because every function has its own scope. Okay, own scope means if I don't declare it globally, then every function can treat it as differently. Okay, so if I say within a function like organization name, if I am not declaring it globally, then it will say you haven't declared organization name in your program. Okay, these things we will do in a later stages. First, just try to understand this. What is global declaration? Global declaration means if I have declared something, then that thing can be used in the entire program with the same name. We are not required to declare it again in any of the functions that we are using within the program. Then comes the main, that is main function section. Here in the main section, what we will do, we will write the code. It can be declaration part or it can be an executable part. And then after that, we have subprograms. Subprograms means we are dividing the program into different functions. Okay, function 1, function 2, and function n. So these functions can be user defined. So you can create your own functions that you can use them into main program. Okay. So the basic simple C program printing a line of text, we can say like hash include stdio.h. So stdio.h is for standard input and output operations. So we are using this header file because we are using printf within our main program. If we won't use this stdio.h, then it will throw an error because we are using printf, which is defined in stdio.h. Okay. Then main, within main, we are giving the scope of the main with opening braces and closing curly braces. So the scope of the main program starts with the opening braces and ends with this closing braces. Within this, we are printing printf within double inverted commas, welcome to C, and \n. \n is for new line. Okay. So if you execute this program, then the output will be welcome to C. Okay. So this with hash include studio.h, we are saying like preprocess. It is a preprocessor directive that tells computer to load content of a certain file, that is stdio.h, that allows standard input and output operation, because we are using printf, which is an output statement That is why we are using stdio.h. So within main, so C program contains one or more functions. It can have user-defined functions also. So a C program can contain one or more functions, exactly one of which must be main. Okay? आपके प्रोग्राम में कई सारे फंक्शन हो सकते हैं, लेकिन एक मेन होगा. Okay? Parenthesis used to indicate a function, that is within opening and closing braces, indicates a block. So the bodies of all function must be contained in a braces. So all functions will be limited within opening and closing braces. Then we write void main. So void main indicates that this function is not returning any values. Okay, it does not require to return statement at the end of the function, because in function we write return statement also. So if we write void main, then it indicates that there is no return type of the main function. इसको कुछ return करने की जरूरत नहीं है किसी और function को. Okay, that does not require to return statement at the end of the function. After executing the code within the function, it doesn't require to return anything to any other function. Then we have int main, that indicates return time of the main function, and the return type of this main function is int type integer. It requires a return statement at the end of the function. Okay, so any confusion till now? किसी को कोई confusion है अभी? Okay. Okay, so a simple program for printing a line statement was this. So printf welcome to C colon backslash n within inverted commas close and then semicolon. It instructs the computer to perform an action. Specifically, what action? We are saying, like, you need system or a computer program, print whatever is written within this inverted commas, that is welcome to C colon backslash n. So it specifically prints the string of character written within the code. So it will print welcome to C colon backslash n. The entire line called as a statement. All statement must end with semicolon. So all the statements in C must end with this semicolon. Okay. The escape character, that is backslash, indicates that printf should do something out of an ordinary. Backslash n is for new line character. Okay. Then the right braces indicates end of the main has reached. So here we have written the program like this is the right braces at the end. Okay. So the right braces indicates the end of main program. Linker, when a function is called, linker in the library. So it is inserted into the program, and if a function name is misspelled, then the linker will produce an error because it will not be able to find the function in the library. Okay, so it is similar to that. Like if I'm saying, is there any student present in the class with the name Akshay? So I'm saying I'm using a word Akshay. So the whole class would not be able to respond because there is nobody called Akshay within the class. So that is the same logic is there. So if we are using the linker and if we are misspelling the name of the function, then the linker will not be able to identify it because it doesn't have that program with that name stored in it. Okay, so if the function name is misspelled, the linker will produce an error because it will not be able to find the function in the library. So with this, I'll stop it over here. So I will continue from slide number 18 in the next class. Okay, so if is a reserved keyword, so how can we use it as identifier? Where we have used it in identifier? See, if I use IF capital letters, then would I be able to use it or not? C is a case sensitive language. Okay, so if I'm writing printf all capitals, then will it throw an error?
No, sir.
Yeah, I'll share you the slides. Okay, okay then. Those who have no doubts, they can leave the session. If anybody has any doubts, then he can stay back and ask me your doubt. Okay. So,
Thank you.
everybody else can leave the session.
And sir, you will share this
Uh,
PPT with us.
Yeah, I'll share these PPTs with you because in the first class the content covered was not enough to share those content. So once within this week we will cover at least a few of the portion. Then on Friday I'll mail you the content that we have covered till Friday. Okay. Tomorrow we have a class, so we'll do that. Yash, I'll do add your name, but daily I have to fetch the email IDs from a link that is being provided to us. So in that case, you please be connected with your classmates in case for if you don't get any links for that. I have shared the recorded lecture on email today. Yes, yes. Okay, yes, okay. Thank you.